And now to one of the all-time greats. Emerging for his 26th appearance in the second round, 28 years after his first. This is his 100th World Championship match. 8 times a finalist, 4 times a champion, the 3rd most decorated player in history, the Wizard of Wishaw, John Higgins. What an atmosphere. And finally, to one of this season's outstanding performers, back for a 13th second round appearance after victory over Robbie Williams, a UK champion, a Masters champion, a winner of 11 ranking titles in all, the pride of Northern Ireland. Here comes Mark the Pistol Alen.
OK, we are ultimately going to share in the drama that is boiling up on table 2 between Jones and C, but for now it's on the iPlayer and the BBC Sport app. But first we're going to get a taste of the opening exchanges, at least on table 1, between Alen and Higgins, and we are in the company of Stephen Hendry and John Virgo for that. Could be a fine match, this one, fellas.
I think you're right, Hazel. This is a real heavyweight contest.
First frame, Mark Alen to break.
Certainly the pick of these second round matches. Seven times champion of the world, Stephen Hendry, sat alongside me. Always great to be in your company, Stephen. Yeah, I know Mark Alen seeded world number 3 against John Higgins, seeded 13, but I think it goes a bit deeper than that, this match.
Yeah, I think John Higgins, we look at his pedigree here at the Crucible, I think this is a much more even contest than their separation in the rankings. Oh, it's always nice to maybe get a good run of the balls, but I'm just looking. I think there's reds to the right middle. I thought for 1 second here Johnny got away with this. It's the long pot by a long way.
Yeah, I, like you, thought he had a result when that red nestled near the cue ball, but there is a red to the right middle. But it's first frame. There'll be nerves.
Well, I hit that pretty hard. I know he had to give it a bit of pace to get position, but seemed to just overhit it slightly. A little bit of tension.
Well, these balls are spread like a practice session. It's all about this first red and getting good position on the colour. And the fact that John's not down playing the shot means it's not straightforward. Nerves out there? You betcha.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. This is a tie of the second round and 2 absolute legends of the game, but no one's immune from a bit of first frame edginess at the Crucible.
Yeah, I think both players in their first 2 attempts have been guilty of just overhitting, and as Stephen said, that's usually a sign of a little bit of tightness in the arm. But the fact that Mark only had a safety shot to play there, John was a bit fortunate.
Moving on from what I was chatting to Hazel about, I think from Mark Alen's point of view, a win over John Higgins, even if John Higgins is not at his best, but a win over John Higgins at the Crucible would give him huge confidence going forward in this World Championship.
Yeah, and we also, and this was my opinion before the tournament started, he was in the opposite half to Judd and Ronnie. So that would be something that can inspire. And that one nicely in, he's found the path through the reds, he's going to stop short of the ball line. And as we said before, the way the reds are spread, it's just a case of getting that first red, getting position on the colour, And taking into account it is the first frame, but what an opportunity to score.
It's incredible. There's not a safe red, and there's not a colour that's tied up. As you said, John, it's like a practice routine, this. If this was the third or the fourth frame, you'd say this is, well, you'd expect it to be frame over. Someone ranked number 3 in the world. But it is the first frame. As I say, that little bit of tightness in your grip hand. Anything can happen. But I think once he's past sort of 3, 4, 5 pots, then you start to get in the groove.
6.
Yeah, people always say of a snooker player, how many shots in front do you look? I mean, when the situation's like this, all you're looking for is whichever ball you pot, you try and leave yourself a nice angle on the next one. Because all the red's there, and if you don't come straight on the ball, you can manoeuvre the cue ball. You'd want to get to this end now and stay here, if you can. Don't want that cue ball travelling up and down the table. But it looks like he's going to have to pot this red to the right middle and play for the blue.
I was going to say, I think the pink's possibly available to left corner as well, off the red to right middle. But he's got so much choice, almost too much. You would think you'd just bring the cue ball down to somewhere in between pink and black. You're going to have choices. You wouldn't say he's had it in perfect position yet, would you?
No, and that's not the best positional shot. Might be okay if he can reach it, but he's at full stretch. On the blue, but wrong side of it, so he's going to have to send that cue ball in and out of balk. Got to avoid a balk colour. Did that by playing with a lot of right-hand side to check it. And he's still not recovered the situation here.
You can't believe he's put the cue ball in an area where, is he on anything? He could play that shot another 100 times and be easily on a red. I think if I had any criticism, I think he's thought too much about this break. I think he's taken his time and tried to be too perfect when the situation was easy.
Yeah, I think from that first one, when he came on the red to play on the blue in the right middle, he gave it lots of thought. It was the obvious shot to play, and as you say, he put that much thought. He didn't get a good angle on the blue. Anyway, he's playing the cut to the left middle. Should have been easier than this. Well, he just got in.
19.
And he's come in and out of balk nicely on the brown. So every chance now to get down at this end and start working on pink and black.
Yeah, as I said before, brown off one cushion, take the cue ball into that area. I don't think you have to be too precise here. But again, could have been closer to his next red.
23.
I mean, he's had a few chances and he's still not done it. He's overrun that slightly. He's thinner on the blue than he would like. It's the red close to the left corner pocket. I mean, you think that would be a priority. Get rid of that red. Black's available then into both corners. So can he guide the cue ball to the top cushion?
Yeah, the break's over 7 minutes old, and he's he's still not potted a pink or a black yet, which I think is, if he's at the start of the break. He's then jumped up intimating a kick, but if it was a kick,
29.
but fortunate still to pot the blue.
Yeah, normally if you get a kick, you get a thickish contact. You nearly overcut that. So we commented earlier about the nerves. No matter how experienced they are, it's just, and it's a big match as well. You know, there's a fear factor. They've got so much respect for one another. He'll settle down, but it's good to see even the best players struggling a little bit with the tension.
$30.
Wrong side of the blue. He's thinking if he just stuns a little bit down the table and leave himself a straight red, but, well, you'd be looking for something easier than a mid-range pot.
Yeah, cue ball control is something that we praise Mark Alen for. He's one of the best in the world. But as I said, this break now approaching 9 minutes. He's all the reds are down this end. He's still not potted a pink or a black. Yeah. The cue ball's been doing a lot of mileage here. But the most important thing, he's still at the table. Again, this red is closest to the left corner.
35.
Not easy to get perfect on the next colour. Oh, what a kiss that is.
36.
Well, if he's played that, it's a great shot. And he'll give him the benefit of the doubt, just for his body language after he played the pot. So now, he is in perfect position, and it should be 1-0 to Mark Alen.
42. $43.
So that black, Mark, 50 points in front.
50.
Another couple of reds, couple of colours would get him to snooker as required.
$51. $58. $59.
The applause from this knowledgeable
66.
crucible crowd, telling you that snookers are required. Well, Mark trying to bring that red, the awkward red, away from the side cushion.
67.
And of course, if he'd have got the cannon, then that would have held the cue ball at this end. Anyway, he's had a result, nudging the green, so still a possibility of a century in this first frame. And he's landed perfectly on the awkward red.
70.
So plan B works out very
71.
nicely.
Will be good enough to beat Mark Alen. John knows that.
92.
Mark Allen's one of the players of the season,
94.
behind Judd Trump and Ronnie O'Sullivan.
$97.
Yeah, excellent way to start a match. The first part of this break was quite pedestrian, but in the end he's got the job done.
106.
Won the frame convincingly in one visit with an excellent centre break.
$112.
Very well played from Mark Alen, career century number 618. just the start he was looking for. 1-0.
Something in the 30 seconds or something.
Well, initially it was. It's gone back down to sort of 23 to 26. He's usually sort of 26 to 29 on occasions in these matches. And I guess there's a question that some of the commentators were asking beforehand. Been a long time since someone with that sort of shot time, Drebden perhaps, won the world title. So is that going to do it in terms of energy levels?
Well, I mean, obviously it's dictated to by the balls, but you do feel as if he plays a little quicker when he's in amongst them, he is a better player for it.
OK, mind you, that was a fine century to start things off. Frame 2 is off and running.
Yeah, not the best break-off from John Higgins. Red has come up the table, and it is possible in the right middle. Yes, solid pot. Yeah, right in the heart of the pocket. Just shows you had that bit of table time. And now the cue arms working nicely. I mean, if you had a choice of red, I think you'd want to be looking how you can get on that red just to the right of the black, but it doesn't look to be too good on the yellow.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe the brown off 1, 2, 3 cushions. We've got position on, if not that red, the one that's above the black.
Three. Four.
Well, I struck that beautifully. You could see the cue ball just came back in exactly the same line that it went towards the red. A sign of just perfect cueing. Well, I can only think he was playing for the red that John and I were talking about, closest to the black. Don't think he's on it. Doesn't really want to play for the black if the black's not going to be in the clear on its spot.
Well, you saw there, it's all about fractions. Another roll or two on the cue ball, and he'd have been on this red to the right of the black. As Stephen said, he's not on it. And if he plays for the black, is it going to get tied up?
Ten.
The only other way is if you've got an angle to pop the black run through and just nudge the red. But that angle doesn't look on to me. I think that's what he was thinking about.
$17.
The black and the red now out of commission. And that's not a good cue ball. I mean, there was a case there, you thought, get a nice angle on the blue and try to cannon into the pink, bring reds into play, but that's not an option now. He's near the side cushion.
$23.
Well, I can only think, in fact, he was pointing his tip of his cue at this right cushion that he thinks if he plays topspin and hits that point, he may cannon the black or the red away from the black. And that's a tall order, so I think the shot is topspin with right hand side. Try as hard as you can and just get the cue ball out of there. Yeah, that's the shot. That's the one. Okay, relying on a little bit of luck, but he'll take that. He's on the blue.
Mark Alen, 24.
Yeah, so that black being tied up in the red just ruined a good position, and he was always chasing the cue ball, you felt, after that. Didn't expect him to miss the blue, mind. But now, John, first chance. He's had a couple of pots in the first frame. Now has he got that cue arm relaxed and ready to work.
1.
Obviously a difficult opportunity this with the black tied up. Pink not that readily available, and the blue not on its spot. Well, that looks absolutely inch perfect, particularly if this red adjacent to the pink goes. Oh, and he's got the perfect angle. Play for the pink in the middle.
5.
Yeah, that was a wonderful positional shot there from John Higgins. Then look at that for a record. Eight
11.
finals, 4 won, 4 lost. 171 centuries. He's been one of the greatest players of all time. Had a little bit of a murmur there, though.
Yeah, well, when they catch that near jaw, sometimes the pocket won't accept him, just struggle in. Yeah, that'll just focus the mind somewhat.
18.
I don't think there's anything wrong with John Higgins' game.
19.
I think it's between the ears that has held him back from winning trophies the last 2 or 3 years. He's lost a lot of matches from winning positions, and I think they've left scars. And I think the last sort of 2 or 3 times I've watched him play, he's sort of held on to bad shots in his head more. He's following one bad shot with another bad shot, while following a bad frame with another bad frame, instead of getting rid of it like he used to.
25.
And then sometimes you're almost waiting for bad things to happen, waiting for misses. Yeah, if he can play with a clear head, his game's there.
26.
Yeah, a little grimace there. He's not good on this pink. He'll have to play for the red that's on the left-hand side of the table. And he's stretching slightly. Caught with it reasonably well, but a little bit of work to do with the cue ball here.
32.
Don't think he can risk trying to bring the black into play. He's got the blue and pink to play for. Just kind of manoeuvre this cue ball.
So, 33.
Yeah, that was a good choice, really, when you think about it. As long as he's not straight on this pink. 2 reds just above the cue ball. He could play for one of those in the left corner. Well, he's got the one to the left middle, which he'd probably prefer if he's got the right potting angle, because he's come a bit too close to the cushion. Closer than he would have liked. Obviously not got the perfect angle on the red to the middle. So just keep your eye on the pot here. Must keep your eye on the pot. He was unsure where the cue ball was going to finish, and he took his eye off the pot. When you get in those situations, just concentrate on the pot and where the cue ball finishes. You just have to play it from there. It was a bad mistake.
1.
But of course the key to this frame will be the red that's next to the black.
the blue would be a good colour to
7.
play that cannon. If you got near, I was looking where to put the cue ball, but if you put the cue ball near to the cushion and to cut the blue in, the cue ball will be going towards.
8.
You can maybe flick the black, but deciding to take the open reds out first. That's a shocker. For someone of Mark Alan's touch, that's a very bad shot.
13.
He could easily play for the red to the same pocket. So it looks like we're going to have a tactical battle in the
Mark
end of the
Alen,
second
13.
frame to decide who wins it.
Yeah, and you'd have to say advantage Mark Alen. He's got a good shot there. And the age-old problem, there's not so much hitting this red. Got to get it safe.
Foul.
He's up and out of that now. Is he going to leave a free ball? He doesn't want to leave a free ball, and he hasn't.
Okay.
Well, Mark Alen deciding to have it back. There was a possible pot on there. 2 cushion escapes definitely on. Just needs a minor adjustment.
Okay.
But still the old problem. Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to miss it, but it's going over the corner. So that decision from Mark Alen to have it replaced has turned out to be the right one. No, I think he's got a slight angle on the blue. Whether he can force the blue in and widen the angle, lots of left-hand side. Don't think he can. It's too straight. Well, he's tried to. He could be snookered himself here. That cue ball doesn't slow up.
6.
Now 8 points in front, Mark Alen. The main thing you're looking for in this type of shot is put distance between cue ball and object ball. But you play it at pace, you just got to be careful you don't get a double kiss here. I mean, just trickling off the red doesn't get you any advantage whatsoever. So he's tried to put distance between the two. Not got the snooker.
Mark Alen, 6.
I think a possible pot on, but it's dangerous because the cue ball is going to run into the brown. And John didn't play the pot. Needs his red to run though. I think there's just an edge sticking out.
Okay, thanks.
There you see. Perfectly played. Very good. Playing the side to side, and if he gets a snooker, that's a bonus. But I don't think he has got the snooker.
topspin and the cue ball will hold it onto this black cushion and sending the red back up the table. A little bit unlucky there, red catching the green, that was a good shot.
Yeah, but it could have been worse. If he catches the green full ball, he leaves a pot on. But no, he played it well, and Stephen said when the ball's close to the cushion, the cue ball checks. But for the kiss on the green, it'd have been a snooker for sure. I can only assume here he's looking to see if he can miss the red on the left-hand side and come baulk cushion first and kick the red up the table. And looking at that, that's where he's pointing the cue. There's not a lot of room, he's got to be very precise here. I know it's a guaranteed safety, you can get right in behind the red, but if you don't, you're not certain to have it safe.
Between the angle cushion. Yeah, sorry.
Asking referee Paul Collier to have a look at it just in case he missed it. I don't know how he's going to miss it. Well, he could miss it if he's playing a thin contact, so that baulk cushion first shot wasn't an option. Now who's going to play the first toe-in safety in this vital tactical battle?
You wouldn't think between these two there'd be many unforced errors in the safety department. That's why in this match there could be a few of these little battles in frames, mainly because of the standard of the tactical play is going to be so high. Trying to get one up on your opponent is going to be very difficult. It's been kind of the bedrock of Mark Alen's success the last 2 or 3 years, his tactical game. It's become, even when he's not at his scoring best, it's become so difficult to beat. As you can see, he puts a lot of thought into every shot.
Now, where's the red going? Where's the red going? Is it going in off the brown? Or will it be left? It's left. Okay, not the most inviting for John with him being so close to the cushion. Just having a look. Yeah, it might be worth playing cushion first. It's not as easy as if the red was right in the jaws of the pocket, but if you can get this, it'd be on the brown. And, well, he'd become favourite for the frame, no doubt. So it's cushion first. Oh, as I say, it wasn't right in the jaws of the pocket. Still thought he'd get it. Just caught it a little too thin. Now, does this red pass the brown? Just about. Well, he didn't play it. He thought the snooker was a certainty.
Yes, as early as the second frame in a best of 25 frame match, Mark Alen is already playing no risk snooker. There's definitely a chance to pot that red there, even going cushion first and off the brown. But only to keep it tight.
Yeah, but it was a chance, which he turned down. Will he get a better one? The double kiss, and he's left the red. John Higgins comes to the table, 8 points behind.
1.
Yes, Mark Allen's playing no risk snooker. I'm going to say I would have been tempted to have a go at the pot down the cushion there. That red he was on. Could possibly even have gone in off the brown. I think being careful is all very well, but at some point I think is
5.
you've got to take on the brave shots sometimes to win tournaments. Okay, it's very early in this match, but I don't think you can sort of safety yourself to victory.
7.
So up to and including the pink to level the match. And as we always say, I'm sorry if I'm boring you, but you never relax till you get your first frame on the scoreboard, and that applies to even the greats like John Higgins.
I did say to Mark Williams once, I was talking about a match and I said, I can't believe he never took that pot on, and he said, well, Stephen, you haven't been in the game for a long time, the game's not played that way anymore. And I thought, well, surely the game's about potting balls, but it seems to have got more careful top level snooker
19.
than it used to be.
Not perfect on the blue, so this pink frame ball, but pressure. Should have been easier, he knows it, but this is what you're left with. But puts it away nicely.
25 on the frame.
So John Higgins, he was in, he made a mistake, but Mark Allen didn't punish him. And it's all square, one apiece.
He was going to come back and give this a crack one more time, he said, and we weren't quite sure what he meant by that. So it is interesting to know that, gosh, he's going to be, what, 49 in a few weeks' time. This is a very interesting time for the great Wizard of Wishaw.
Yeah, no, that was just a second frame, but that was a big pink, I feel, that John Higgins potted to win that frame. Just if he'd have missed it, Mark Allen had potted pink and black, it just would have really unsettled him, I think. He may not have potted that red, JB. Lots of last frame.
Yeah, wonderful opening red there from John. Unlike those first couple of pots he missed in the first frame, he didn't hit at the cue ball, he just stroked it beautifully. And immediately coming down for this red just above the black, clear the black spot area.
4. Five. Twelve. 13.
No, it's okay. He's just come far enough away from the side cushion to make it reasonably comfortable, this black. And I think he's... Well, he hasn't got a great angle. He's going to have to force this in. That's okay. He's still got that red to the left middle. Did he not fancy the red at this end?
20. Now
there's a couple of loose reds. I think if he had more angle on the blue, I think he may be tempted to play a little cannon here. I know the pink's just offline, but he should be on the red to the left middle, no matter what. Well, he purposely played for that. He's just held his ground. He wanted an angle so he could get a good angle
26.
on the blue, but if he's straight on this red, it's going to be slightly awkward. And he looks straight enough, so he's looking to screw back for the pink, but that's going to be very precise. And didn't want to be precise, so give it that extra to get on the black. Well played. Well, unintentional kiss on the red, but I think he's okay still.
30.
Down from the pink that was on. I think it's still on.
$35.
Played that nicely. He's just having a look at the two reds that are together. It does go. That was the question I was going to ask, but we've shown you it does pot. And of course, once he pots this, then he'll clear the path for the red just above it.
42. $43.
Just can't find that perfect angle on the black, but I think he can force the cue ball up the right hand side of the table. Yep, played it well. Quick
50.
glance at the scoreboard. 50 is the break, 50 is the lead.
$51.
I think everyone talks about John's all-round game, his shot selection, his
57.
safety play, which of course are world-class, but for me his biggest attribute is his scoring, his break building. 7 away from 1,000 competitive centuries. Tells you
68.
what a high scorer he's been throughout his career. Always seems to play the right shot when he's in the balls. It's been pretty much immaculate cue ball in this break.
65.
Yeah, and he didn't have to play the cannon, but he needs a colour off this red. Just about held for the black. And as I say, he doesn't need any cannons here. If he pots this black, he goes 73 points in front with just 67 remaining. Just make certain of frame ball. Right in the heart of the pocket. No thought of playing the cannon. And Mark Alen now
73.
needs 2 snookers.
John Higgins, 73.
Excellent contribution. Little shake of the head. All right, he's a little bit disappointed, but in the grand scheme of things, that was an excellent break. Tremendous opening red. And should be a frame-winning contribution.
Yeah, it was almost textbook way to win a frame, isn't it? Pot a good long ball, and win the frame in one scoring visit. That's exactly the way a player wants to win a frame. By his own ability, his own aggression, going for the long pot, scoring heavily. And that will just confirm this third frame is going to John Higgins. This frame, the way he's played it, just proves how important potting that pink, which wasn't easy as a frame ball, just shows how important it was to get it in the last frame for John Higgins.
6. 7.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and he's certainly cueing a lot nicer in this frame. And every pot seems to be going right in the heart of the pocket, which is always a good feeling for any player. Pink's spot not available. Goes on the highest, which is the black.
14.
But this is just another bit more of table time for John Higgins, playing well and truly over.
20.
Yeah, and I think both players have had frame winning breaks, and Looking at average shot time, 21, 3 seconds a shot quicker. Well, it's just gone 4 seconds a shot quicker actually than his opponent.
Well, it doesn't matter because, as I say, the frame's over, but you can hear the noise
29.
from the other side of the arena. And you've got to stay focused. And as I say, because the frame's over, then it doesn't matter if he was to miss now. But it's probably a little bit of a distraction, but the frame was over. John Higgins, tremendous opening race set up. That 73 break that won the frame. 2-1.
A very
John
hard
Higgins
object
to
to get rid of.
Sure has. And at the moment, it's the Scot 2-1 in front. Last before their interval now.
Yeah, always a key frame before a mid-session interval. John Higgins, can he be 2 frames in front, or is it going to be all square? Well, it was close, and is this red running? It's running. Oh, I was going to beg the question, is it cuttable to the middle? Well, maybe John can just cue past the brown. It looks cuttable to me. Well, he's missed it by that far. I don't think he played the pot. He played the safety. Pure and simple, and it was a good one.
Yeah, I've seen it, it's okay.
John will be a little bit disappointed with that. And the worst possible outcome. The red he missed has gone over the left middle pocket.
One.
Four.
Well, not quite certain what he's looking at here. I mean, it seems the obvious shot, this red to the left corner. Do you play for the black or do you go up for the blue? Or maybe the pink's available. I mean, whatever he's looking at, if he doesn't get a good angle on the colour, it won't matter. Well, he's convinced himself this is an unmissable 3-ball plant. Is it? He was right.
5.
His cue ball needs to slow up.
I'm sorry, that's just a terrible shot.
10.
There's no getting away from it. And again, when you think about Mark Alen's game, it's all about touch with a cue ball, control, and there was none of that there. It was very clumsy.
Thinking time, over a minute now. Just got to find the ball cushion tight with the cue ball. He'll be disappointed he's having to leave the table, don't get me wrong. As well he might be.
Mark Alen, 10.
Yeah, I didn't want to risk trying to get the cue ball back to the baulk end. And the fact that he's got this white tight to the top cushion, don't think there's anything that will tempt Mark Alen here.
You can see we're only in the 4th frame, and there's 6 seconds between the players in terms of average shot time. It's not getting away from it. Mark Alen does get every shot a decent amount of thinking time. Decides to play it, and some shots, well, to me anyway, are pretty straightforward.
Too thin. Not left any pot on, but you leave your opponent with his hand on the table. You expect him to play a better safety shot than that. He's having a good look at these two reds just below the pink. Are they a plant? Oh, they're not far off, are they? Oh, from behind the pocket, he looked dead on. But obviously there must have been maybe a ball in between the plant that threw it offline. Because something threw it offline immediately. It was a good line, but it's just a fraction short. You see, he can just get past the green. Don't think he can get the cue ball back to baulk, though. Now then. One thing I've looked at here, the red just above the black. Is it a free shot? Is it a free shot to the left middle? He'll take it on if the only red he can leave is the one he's playing. No, not quite. But as I say, it wasn't a shot that where he's just stopped John, and as he left a gap to this red to the right centre.
Is there a gap, JV?
Well, there's always a gap. Is it enough to get through with that red? I don't think so. And by the same token, this red just to the right of the blue. It's possible. But Mark Alen doesn't seem in the mood to be pushing the boat out. But you see, just can't get enough of that red.
Yeah, I think possibly if the blue was in the open, he may have had a little shot at that red in the right middle. He's taking this one on. This needs good cueing. And didn't get good cueing. And unluckily for Mark Alen, the red's gone over the right corner pocket. Can John get through to it?
You have to think not. Well, there you see it. Got to cover the path to that red, though. Which was quite easily done.
cleverly also covered the left side of the table. So Mark Allen, hands on chin, having a think. Yeah, can't use the left side to get back up to baulk, so a spot of bother here.
Trying to get that cue ball in behind the blue. He's failed to do that. But he's contained the situation. A good shot from John Higgins. Beware the pink if he catches this too full. Still plenty of cover for that red that's adjacent to the right corner. Now, is there a gap to this red? Oh, there's a gap. Can he hit enough of it? Can he hit enough of it to pot it? No, he hit the wrong red. And I thought the way he got down quickly, Stephen, he could get through to it clearly.
First shot's a little bit awkward, obviously bridging over this red. But should negotiate this. No, he didn't. Well, he got up quickly and stayed there. Was it a bad contact?
Do you know, I think it was. The red just seemed to straighten, didn't it, when he hit it? I'll give John the benefit of the doubt there. Yeah, he had to swerve, and of course he couldn't do anything with the cue ball and the pink and black out of commission. He only got the 1 point.
One. Mark Allen 1.
When John played his shot, he kind of had an air of resignation when he went back to his chair. He knew he was going to be in trouble for the next one.
This has got to be precise. This has got to be the perfect hit. Oh, and it was. Okay, he may have knocked a red towards that left corner, but that's as good as he could hope for. Well, is he thinking of taking this red on? It goes to the left corner. No. Played it in such a way. Look where the cue ball's finished. He purposely played the cue ball there. So if he did miss the red, he wouldn't leave anything easy for John. And that is the case.
Yeah, you felt that was the priority for Mark there. Didn't seem to fully commit to that at all. The pot inside of the shot. First mistake, you would think it's going to be costly the way the reds are situated. Who can get that cue ball tight in the baulk cushion?
Yeah, pretty good safety. Okay, he's left the pot on, but couldn't really avoid doing that, but plenty of distance. Well, make sure that the pot couldn't avoid the kiss on the second red the way he played it.
Six.
Okay, it is time for us to leave you here on BBC One. But rest assured, this match and the other match on the other side of the arena continues on BBC iPlayer right now. Just to let you know that Jack Jones has re-established his lead at 10-8 in that one. But we will return on the red button as well in 25 minutes' time, so you can watch all of this and come back on the red button should you wish. But in the meantime, from John, me and the rest of the team, it's goodbye for now.
One.
Already 17 ahead when he came to the table. Should pad the lead here. Obviously the configuration of the ball's not ideal, hence the head shaking. But a Mark Alen in full flow, he'd be able to sort it out.
Six. Seven.
Well, he got the chance here, and he's been waiting quite patiently for it. John missed he missed a very bad red to right middle earlier in this frame when Alen had made an error and left him it, and it didn't threaten the pocket. So this chance has come.
Thirteen. $15. $16.
From pocket cam to thinking this frame could well be in Alan's pocket. At the very least, he should build a substantial advantage.
$21. $22.
That's nicely played. That is perfect. Well, it's certainly three red. Well, it's certainly three reds in the middle of the table will take him close. Every time you see John, he's always as if he's quite deep in thought. He's obviously deep in concentration. With John, it always looks like he's thinking about something in particular.
One thing he knows, he suspected it before the match began. I think he's convinced of it now. What's happened in the first four frames reinforced his opinion that this is going to be
34.
A very tough match. Win or lose. It will take a massive investment in effort to get over the line for either player. Quite a low scoring frame.
39.
Mark Alen has this red with the rest, which is frame ball. Pretty well crafted break of 40, which should become 47. And that should mean parity at the interval.
47. Mark Alen, 47 and the frame.
Indeed, John Higgins leaves his chair and leaves the arena. The first four frames of this best of 20 been shared. Mark Alen 2, John Higgins 2. The start, you would think, of a marathon. And Mark Alen, 2-2 at the moment. Four more frames to be played this afternoon.
Frame 5. Mark Alen to break.
Before a ball was potted, Neil, I thought about this session. Didn't know who was going to perform well, didn't know who was going to struggle. What I did think was that it was either going to be 4 each or 5-3 either way at the end of it, and I've not changed my mind. I think that's the vibe we're getting right now.
Yeah, possibly. You never quite know how things are going to develop. We've been wrong before, but we'll just have to see what happens from here on in. I expect it to be a match that goes deep anyway.
Pink, yeah. Okay.
Just a reminder, as we mentioned the draw there a moment or so ago, the winner of this match will take on Joe O'Connor or Kyron Wilson in the quarterfinals. I think it's being kind to say that from distance, John Higgins isn't on it. He missed that one by the proverbial country mile.
Well, he hit the wrong side of that, didn't he? He has got a different cue, I'll say. But, whatever you think about the using of a different cue, it's something John has done many times before. No good, not a good shot. He's on the red, yes, but not like that. Certainly the one thing that I said earlier on that he's always had has not really been there today. He hasn't played poorly. You know, he's made a century and he's 2-2 against John Higgins, but his cue ball control is not anywhere near to the level he used to. But he's potting balls, and that's a very good recovery.
I think his mindset is T-card. He believes he can win this way. He does win this way. Of course, to compete at the highest level of any sport, you need the necessary skills. He's got them. But you also need self-belief to be able to showcase those skills. Bottle in this sport is worth fortunes, and he's got it.
Well, that was a key shot to land on that red, wasn't it, in the way that he did. And that's also a lot better. I think that's perfect. You can reach across, get to that red, a straightish angle.
$19. $26.
Looking to be the third world champion from Northern Ireland. Alex Higgins famously won the title in '72 at Selly Park, British Legion in Birmingham. Then again in '82, right here. Dennis Taylor winning on the black against Steve Davis in that unforgettable final in '85.
32.
I think this split has been a delight.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine where he's finished. You could screw onto the other red here and hold for the black as well. This is the key. Wow. That's not like him. That is not like him.
32.
It's usually a shot he's very good at. I think he probably had to, in concentrating on the cannon, he might have been sort of losing sight of the contact on the red to pot it. He needed. It's one of those things that happens. It came out of the blue. It's a very good cue ball, isn't it? I mean, he's absolutely under that cushion rail. I do say one thing about Alen, not everyone is a fan of his new approach to the game, which is, winning him tournaments and keeping him right at the very top of the rankings. But one thing that has certainly improved, he's an absolutely superb safety player these days. This season it's been evident that he's had players in all kinds of trouble. And that's one way of winning. It's a very important part of the game, of course.
Now that, from the sound, wasn't the best contact. That's why the cue ball hasn't gone where he wanted it to. It was quite a clunking contact. Higgins was rusty. Missing balls like that, I recall. Alen, despite his lack of experience, won 4-1. And the rookie back then also beat Steve Davis in that tournament, so you knew
16.
he could handle the big time. I mentioned it was his first professional match, but he'd already
17.
won titles by then. Amateur-wise, very successful. World Amateur Champion in 2004. European Amateur Champion the same year.
$24. $25. $30.
Played with
31.
right-hand side to finish top side, and he's virtually got a frame under his belt. And he might just sense that, yes, there are 3 frames to go, and we know it's a long match. We kind of have it earmarked. Yes, there are 3 frames to go, and we know it's a long match. We kind of have it earmarked as a close match. But if John has lost his confidence on his long game, Mark might think he could really make hay in this session, what's left of it.
Again, the cue coming up in the air, giving the impression he'd missed it. And in went the red anyway. Four of the 5 frames played thus far have been one-sided. In fact,
42.
they've been won without the losing player potting a ball.
43. $50. 51.
Just enough on the table for a century.
$58. 59.
It needs either a pink or black with this red to make that happen. And he played that well with right-hand side to take him closer
66.
to that red. He'd be running through, I suspect, onto the black, and he could play on the pink if he wanted to screw it in, but I don't think that's really his style. It's definitely on now.
67. 74. $76. 79.
If he does it, it would be the 5th time he's made 2 or more centuries in a match against Higgins. Forget that, but Mark Alen is back in front. Over the course of the last 2 frames, he's not bothered the scorers. Mark Alen on a run of 175 unanswered points. Mind you, the record is still some way off. The record is held by John Higgins himself. The Crucible record, that is. 485 unanswered points he put together in the year 2000 against Anthony Hamilton.
John Higgins to break. John Higgins to break.
When it comes to Crucible stats, Crucible records, he's mentioned on multiple occasions. Right now, though, he can't draw on those positive memories because it's all about how you're playing in the present. And John Higgins, so far this afternoon, has missed quite a lot, especially, as Neil pointed out in the previous frame, from distance. One of the records that John Higgins holds proudly is that he's completed 7 session whitewashes here at the Crucible over the years. Steve Davis next best with 6. Right now, he'd just like to win the last 3 frames this afternoon. And as the song said, 2 out of 3 wouldn't be bad either.
No.
Yes, I think in at close range with the new cue, which he not really made a big deal of it, but he did sort of let it slip out after his win against Jamie Jones, that he's got a different cue to the one he used only in Manchester the week before last. I mean, this is quite decent stuff. But sometimes with a new cue, you're in amongst them, he's absolutely fine, but occasionally not so at long range, but we'll keep an eye on all that. This is a half-decent chance.
It's been said over the years many times by yours truly that there's a comparative weakness in Higgins' game, which is the rest, but I think over the last few years, he's actually improved in this regard. Cheers. You notice I used my words advisedly and said a comparative weakness because his overall game has always been so powerful.
$11. 12. $19.
On the theme
20.
of John Higgins' records, here's another one he jointly holds with Ronnie O'Sullivan, and that's pertinent to what he's doing right now, which is building a break. He's made the highest break at the Crucible and cashed 5 times.
27.
147, 146, 2 143s and a 142.
I mean, right now he'd settle for about 75, wouldn't he, or whatever it would be, 80, to get an important frame. This under his belt. But as you say, he's a prolific break builder.
28.
just a bit straight on the black, I think. He tried to force the red and leave an angle. I mean, he could play on the bottom red, but he doesn't really want to play on the red down the cushion when there's other options. But look how straight he is. It's going to have to be a red to the right middle. He didn't really have much else he could do there.
35.
Well, he really needs this to go in. Be disappointing into the break if it didn't. Good shot. Good recovery.
36.
Another full house at the Crucible. Nothing new there.
.41.
Well, it's always the way, isn't it?
42.
Something that gets in the line of the colour you're looking for. I mean, it looks absolutely plain sailing. Here he's on the black, isn't he? But the red's not finished rolling. Now, based on a few long pots, this blue is as easy as it might be. It's a real queuing shot. John's missed a few at range. Very good. Very good. That would have hurt him had that been where the break ended. For a couple of times, I've said that in this break.
47.
It continues.
Yeah, that blue worth a lot more than the 5 points it's gained him.
48.
That, though, was a poor one.
Well, you're right. I mean, the shot before, he'd be
JohnHiggins,
absolutely
48.
enraged that he hasn't won the frame there. It was a shot before. I mean, he had an area that you had to land the cue ball in. Maybe he's worried about overhitting and not being on the black. But to make 48 there was just half the job being done. And you leave your opponent in, he might not even be favourite for the frame in a few shots, Higgins.
One.
Consummate match player that he is, Mark Alen here identifies a golden chance to inflict a real psychological blow.
Six. Seven. $12.
Obviously, the red is going to be awkward along the cushion, but that's a few shots down the line at this stage. You'd like to think that he'll get that far. This would hurt Higgins if this frame went against him. He set a very high standard for himself, a high
13.
benchmark for many years. And when he just plays below it, these days he gets quite down on himself. It's a bit of a patchy performance this afternoon thus far. But if he could get it to 3-all, Higgins won't mind. He's in some doubt now.
$20. $21.
Correct side of the blue, which was clearly vital.
26. 27. 34. 35.
That's a powerful argument to say this is the most important visit of the match so far.
Yeah, what a strange decision. What a strange decision. If you're going to play the move thread, you've got to make it work, because he could have easily played behind that. They've been going along the cushion. He could have got anywhere with his cue ball. The only way that can be the right
42.
shot is if you get it, because they are very acceptable down the cushions. So the frame is very much alive again due to that decision he made. It's not a good shot either.
Mark Alen, 40.
Frame's wide open. Well, he's put everything safe, basically. This is low-value colours. Safe. It doesn't look that comfortable, does he, John? Both players will have their issues with this frame, given that one of them is sure to lose it.
That's better. Cue ball stopping just in time to be on the right side of the blue. But he arrives on the colours only 12 ahead, and that means he needs the awkward green and the
6.
even more awkward brown.
True, but you can envisage him being on that brown to double it into the left middle, can't you? That's a shot that's because he's made his own, really. Obviously, he's got to get to the green first, but he mightn't be thinking green to brown, because when you're as good a doubler as John, that's the way he'll probably go.
Eight.
I would be amazed if he did anything but leave himself the double. Nice shot.
Very swiftly, let me tell you, Jack Jones now 11-9 up on Si Jiahui. They have gone to their interval. First 4 frames today took 2.5 hours.
Well, to double the brown, you've still got to pop the green. And, this is a rare close frame. We did have one earlier on, but in these long matches, most frames are one-sided. When you get a close one, it kind of hurts to lose it and gives you the real boost when you do get the verdict.
The only close frame so far, as Neil referenced, Higgins won it last red to pin clearance. Second frame it was. To draw level, that's what he's trying to do here. Get back onto level terms and then try and crank up the standard a little.
3.
Took a long time on the green, but the shot on the ground is very well played. And he's, yes, 11 behind. I don't think that counts for a great deal where the balls are, given that John's in a snooker, which he could go around the back of.
When he made contact, no one was sure what would happen. In the end, it's not a bad outcome. Well, against the grain, against his normal approach, that was a very attacking shot, and it's backfired. Just the blue for 3-3.
Yeah, a bit like the earlier frame when he presented that chance to John with that double kiss. It's almost inevitable now that John is going to win it. He's got to knock this in, as Phil said. And, I think Mark Allen has been the slightly better player, but he's got nothing to show for it, Phil.
Indeed, he concedes, and so John Higgins is back. It's all square, a 3-3. With the exception of a 73 break in the third frame, it's not been John Higgins at his fluent, very effective best, and yet he's got a split of the first 6 frames. He won the second on the pink, he's just won the 6th on the blue. I think the last frame, Neil, revolved around a decision in terms of trying to drop on the last red from Mark Allen. He tried to knock the red across the top cushion when he could drop in behind it and cleared up that way.
I'll put it this way, he would have, I think, knocked it in, that red down the cushion, had he played it and got on it, which he's got the precisional expertise to do so. But the fact is, if you're going to play the cannon, you have to get it, because if you don't get it, then the break ends. So, yeah, he made a decision which did not pay off there, which I don't think necessarily every other player would have played. I think they'd have played behind the red and probably got it. But it cost in the frame.
And another talking point, the tough
the 7th
round that he took
Mark
on.
Allen to break.
More frames left of this afternoon. Who's going to go to bed tonight feeling the happier of the two? This match over 3 sessions and 3 days. They come back tomorrow afternoon, play to a finish on Monday night. It's a recurring theme when he's taking on those reds from distance into that pocket. They're all being overcut.
Yeah, I think we expected that, didn't we? That he would miss it that way, because he's missed them all that way, and he knows it too, you know. I mean, no one would know that better than him. Trust me, as a player, it wouldn't have slipped his mind that he's missed all those shots in the same way. But he created an absolutely wonderful chance that Mark Allen didn't really do anything to earn, but he'd happily try and take.
Eight. Nine.
It's pretty well played. Just moving reds out on the right side, and plenty of them now. Quite a neat little shot, this.
$17. 22. $23. Quite
The
a
average
breeze.
shot time of Mark Alen has definitely dropped since the interval. 26 seconds per shot over the session as a whole. And I think that's striking the right balance for him. You never want to be too hasty, but sometimes you can be a little too pedestrian for your own good. And I think since the interval, okay, he lost the sixth frame, but I think he's looked more at home, looked more like his normal self. One of the most delicate operations a referee is required to do, putting the pink nearest its own spot when the pink spot in all other occupied. You're probably aware of the are occupied. You're probably aware of the story now, but Paul Collier will be refereeing the final. As I mentioned earlier, it will be his final match
29.
as a professional referee. He's going to continue in snooker, but he's going to be on the administration side.
Back on me, but I do think I'll have another go. Take it away and try once more.
Keeps rocking back. I do think it does.
Now, Mark Alen saying to John Higgins, he thinks that but he keeps rocking back, and that happens sometimes, Neil.
Yeah. That way. Well, the cube will finish telling the cushion is not great, but he's got a red to middle.
42.
It's probably the one he'll take, I would think. Yeah.
$43. $45. $46. $49. $50.
Well, the black is a bit straight, and that's the reason he's shaking his head. He might be able to just swing it round off two cushions, but there's not much angle to play with, as you can see. It's a pretty good shot, actually, given that he's quite straight on the red.
57. $58.
This could well be the quickest frame of the session.
64.
Well, that's the frame one, but I think Higgins will still be interested to come back if this pink is missed, and it's by no means guaranteed.
Mark Alen, 65.
Higgins, 65 behind, 59 on. That means two snookers are required. But of course, when there's reds on the table, there's always the chance of gaining those very useful extra points from a free ball. Gaining those very useful extra points from a free ball. Oh, that was poor though, John. That was poor. Doesn't seem to be concentrating well to me at all.
No, I think he's in a battle with himself right now. He doesn't seem very pleased or optimistic about his game. But, you know, ultimately he can still come out of this session level. I think this frame is gone. But his overall game looks a little bit below par, really. And of course, he's got the issue of going out the 16 should he lose. All the results went against him after he beat Jamie Jones. Everyone said, well, that should keep him in, but other results did not go as expected.
In the match on the other table, Sijal Wee and Jack Jones, 2 frames have been won over there when snookers have been required. They have just returned, by the way, from their mid-session interval. Jones leading 11-9, 2 more needed. There won't be anything extravagant from Mark Alen. He knows if he leaves Higgins a chance and he pots 3 reds, 3 high-value colours, the opportunity for a snooker is right there. The red closest to the blue, an obvious candidate. That's why he's being careful.
Frame conceded.
Again, not threatening the pocket with that one, and when it was left, John Higgins decides enough is enough. And so Mark Alen goes ahead once more, this time 4-3. John Higgins comes back into the arena. 1 frame left this afternoon. We know that Mark Alen cannot trail overnight. He would love to lead.
Final frame of this session. John Higgins.
A 5-3 advantage for Alen, of course, would be light years away from decisive. But it would be worrying, especially considering the way that John Higgins has missed so many balls, especially from mid and long distance.
Yes, and the one thing, I can actually speak from experience on this, if you start missing long pots, you almost don't want to be left them. And I'm not sure John's quite at that position yet, but he's not looking dangerous at long range. He's not really threatening the pocket on some of those, so he'll be aware of it. And at this game, at this level, you really have to have a long game that is going to get you chances. Difference, I feel, if you can just pull something out of the wreckage and get the scores level.
Two tied frames this afternoon, both won by Higgins. 1 on the pink, 1 on the blue. And you can see there, we've had 5 frames in which the defeated player hasn't bothered the scorers.
Well, it looks like he's attempting to block off the left side of the table here. Let's put a little bit of pressure on Mark Alen as you've got to. That's really well cued. You have to kind of compromise getting on a colour very easily, but the red's gone in. It's the main thing.
Stretching. And potting.
Six. Seven.
He's just about okay. Certainly to the red to middle, if nothing else.
For many years, John Higgins has been one of the alpha players on the snooker tour. He hates losing. And he won't go down without a fight. If he comes out of this today at 4-4,
15.
he will be delighted because there's no doubt Alan's been the better player. But of course, if it's 4-4, Alan will have nothing to show for it. (924th frame that John Higgins has played at the Crucible. And what an important one it is for morale. Normally flicking off the reds like that is a bad thing, but
21.
There's a red to save the day.
Yeah, and he was aware of that. And you're right, it was absolutely no problem in the end. Just pushed a couple of reds out as well. Obviously the black not being on is potentially a hindrance, but not necessarily.
22.
that stayed at the top jaw. I thought it was
John
just
Higgins,
going to
27.
ever so slightly drop down, but they don't, and it stayed there and it teetered on the edge.
If anything, I think it fractionally went the other way. Hard to tell from that angle, but that was the impression I got. 1% pot success rate for John Higgins. That will not cut the mustard. Separation. The other table. Jack Jones now 1 frame away from progress. He leads Si Jiahui 12-9.
It was met with a lot of appreciation, that shot. It was a tiny little swerve. He didn't actually go to get the rest out and play the difficult red and then had a rethink. Big shot, this. Well, that appreciation
Mark Alen 1.
from the previous shot was not the same this time. It was, I mean, I fancied him for it, but he's got to screw back clearly to get onto a red. John's got another chance very soon after the previous. Sometimes you've just got to get out of a session, haven't you? And I think that's how John would view this. If he could get to 4-all, he just got out of a session and will dust himself down, put in a bit of practice, maybe try and find his long game, which has been absent, virtually completely absent. But of course he isn't there yet. This frame's not won by any means, but he's in a strong position. He probably feels it could end up 4-all sitting there.
7. Eight. $14.
It's the old warrior trying
15.
to ward off Father Time.
$20. 22.
Well, he's not far away now, and everything is in the middle of the table that he needs there. He's stretching. So there's a degree of difficulty about this shot. Not bad. The angle on the black is not ideal, but he's closing in on another frame. He will only need this black, so clearly another red after it would be very handy. But I don't think he'd be trying to play anything flash here. So, the applause is for the likelihood of this session ending 4-all, barring a snooker.
Doesn't want to. Doesn't want to leave this red.
John Higgins, 37.
And that's precisely what he's done. 3 reds, 3 blacks for Mark Allen. Then the snooker. Not over yet, this frame.
One.
Recently did a podcast with the WPBSA alongside Nigel Bond, who beat John Higgins in the final of the British Open back in the 90s. Higgins was 69 ahead with 67 on in the deciding frame after potting a black, much like the one we've just seen. Bond got the snooker he needed.
9.
And eventually won the final on the black in very dramatic circumstances. Now the difference
16.
being, in this frame, Higgins did the right. In the British Open final, he might well have played position and he didn't. Either way,
17.
all those years ago he lost that frame and he could still lose this one. .39 behind, 35 on, 1 4-point penalty snooker. Red, black and all the colours to force a respotted black. Not beyond the realms of possibility.
Mark Allen, 24.
Higgins has got cause for concern here, especially with the yellow and the blue in such close proximity. The balls are nice for snookers.
Yeah, best way to just stop that is just to pot this ball, isn't it, here, and be done with it, I suppose. Not that it was easy.
Shouldn't be a problem to make contact with. But of course, Allen could well retain the tactical advantage.
Well, he's making a lot of this. He took a long time to pot 3 reds and colours, and he's spending a lot of time on these shots. And quite frankly, it wasn't worth the wait. Nowhere near getting a snooker there.
Higgins just familiarising himself with the potting angle. And that is that.